here with a 2016 Hyundai Elantra GT. I just want to go over the car a little bit today, talk about how it drives, and just about the different features in the interior room that the car has. So going around this vehicle, it looks, it's just a typical hatchback kind of looking vehicle. I think it looks pretty sporty. That's what it aims to be compared to the Hyundai Elantra sedan. And I think in some ways it does execute that sportiness well, and in others it's lacking. But as I talk about the driving experience a little bit more, we'll get into more of those details. So these wheels are standard. They're P205/55 R16, so 16-inch steel wheels are standard with this vehicle. This is a base model car. And let's start with the back here. So this car has an optional backup camera, and if you do get the backup camera, the Hyundai badge actually lifts up and the backup camera is underneath there. But since this car doesn't have a backup camera, the actual release mechanism for the tailgate is under here. So very high liftover. Well, I should say it is kind of a high liftover, but the tailgate actually lifts up pretty high too. You have a lot of room back here for a hatchback. Plenty of space. You got storage cubbies on the left and none on the right side, but you do have a compact spare under here with some tools and jack that you can use to if you get a flat tire for your car. You also have this cargo shade right here that's you can take off using these hooks right here on the side. A very good solid sounding thunk when you close the doors. I love the color of this car. You can get actually a wide variety of colors with this vehicle. I think this blue looks really nice, especially in the sunlight today. I want to check out the back seat next, because this car is about practicality and you want to have some room as well as fold down rear seats, which this car does have. So coming into the back seat here, you have a release mechanism right here. Just pull up. Your seat folds almost flat, not quite, but you do have some metal guards back here in case there's luggage in there and you get in a crash. You don't want to impale the backseat passengers, so you have some metal right here to keep that from happening. So you have a pretty big pass-through even with the shade up right there. It's pretty good. 60/40 split folding rear seats. So get into the back seat here. Very solid door thunk for a car of this class. Plenty of space. I'd say it's not the roomiest in the class. I bet a VW Golf is maybe just a little bit roomier with the 4-door option. But you do have this cargo net back here if you want to put some items like a magazine or two if you're on a long drive and want to relax and read something. But you have damped hand guards or handles right here. And you do have a hook if you have like a suit or other shirt that you don't want to have wrinkled and you're on a long trip. Plenty of headroom without the sunroof option. There is a full panoramic roof available with this car. However, that will really cut down on your headroom considerably. The thigh support in this back seat is some of the best I've ever seen in this class. Like, my knees are not up in the air at all, and I'm 6 feet tall. So you have plenty of support underneath your thighs. It's very comfortable. The back seats recline nicely. I don't think you can't recline it by yourself, but it's reclined at a good angle, so you could fall asleep in this car if you wanted. And overall, the backseat materials here, you do have soft touch materials up here on the top of the dash. You have this carpet, kind of fuzzy material here that doesn't feel too bad. Plastic door handles. You have your power windows right here. And this is a whole plastic trim that goes around. It looks pretty good. It's like a low gloss material, so it looks fairly expensive. Really solid door handle. It's not soft, but it feels very solid. So let's go up to the front of the car, show you more of the features that you can use in the front seat. Very solid door. So coming up into the front seat here, pretty solid door thunk, not quite as good as the back seats, but it is a bigger door, so it's going to have more vibration. So let's start her up here. Get the key in. It's a very hot day outside. It's about 95 degrees. So I have the AC blowing right now, and this car has almost 14,000 miles, but I gotta say the AC is not the most powerful that I've experienced in a vehicle. I'd say it could use a little bit more Freon, a little bit more refrigerant. The fan speed's good, but as you turn up the fan speed, It makes the NVH a lot worse in the car. It seems like the fan has a lot of vibration in it for the air conditioning control system. So that's something that I noticed driving along, and this car is low mileage, so I know that it probably is a design flaw with the vehicle. Overall though, I mean, you got soft touch materials up here, you still have the same trim that you get in the back seats right here, and you get the same fuzzy material right here that's feels pretty good, plastic door handles. Everything's low gloss, so it doesn't look that cheap. You know, it looks good for the class. You have your power mirrors right here, power mirror controls, and you have your locks. You have your lockout function for your windows. Then you have auto down only for your driver's side window, and then you have power window controls right here. Very solid door handle right here, so it's not soft or anything, but it's very firm feeling. So that's nice, really reassuring feel. And also, you don't get blind spot monitoring on this vehicle unless you go for a higher trim line. But you have the standard wide-angle lens on both your driver and your passenger side mirrors. Actually, you know what? It doesn't have it on the passenger side. So just on the driver's side, but that's when you're changing lanes, your blind spot's gonna be on your driver's side. So even without the blind spot monitoring system, you can, as long as you look at your mirror, you're gonna be able to tell if there's a vehicle there, even if it's in your blind spot. So you have different controls here. One cool thing that's actually standard on this vehicle is the adjustable electric power steering. So this button right here controls your electric power steering. And if you go up here, you can see that it's standard in comfort mode when you start the vehicle. And then it goes to normal, which firms it up just a little bit more. And then sport, it's just a little bit firmer past that. So I usually leave mine in normal mode. I think sport doesn't necessarily fit this car very well. It's supposed to be sportier than the Hyundai Elantra, which it is, but with a torsion beam rear axle with coilovers, not coilovers, just standard springs on your torsion bar for the rear suspension. The car does hop around corners a little bit more. It feels kind of like a 90s Mustang when it goes around corners, with the back end kind of bouncing when you hit an expansion joint around a corner. So it doesn't necessarily feel that good. It feels lively, it feels playful, and for that reason, but it doesn't feel as refined as, say, a Golf or something with an independent rear suspension. So you don't have automatic headlights, but you do get Bluetooth for your phone if you want to talk over the phone with hands-free. And up here, this is your standard head unit. You can get a infotainment system as an option on the upper trim lines, but it's considerably more money. This car starts at about $19,000, and it goes all the way up to about $27,000. And you still have to step up to at least a $24,000 vehicle to get that navigation system with the technology package. And so most vehicles are going to have the standard head unit. You have your climate control system right here with your heated seats that come standard, even with the cloth option, and those heat up extremely fast. Within 4 minutes or so, you'll have your bottom and your top of your seat back your seat back, probably just on your lower back section, are going to be heated up considerably. You have your 12-volt power options right here that you can plug in and charge your phone or whatever device you have. Your aux jacks on the left, and you have your iPod USB port on the right. And that USB port will charge your phone too. 6-speed automatic transmission, very smooth, responsive. Doesn't upshift very quickly, but it downshifts very fast, so you can get good passing maneuvers. The vents are placed up high in the cabin, so that way you can get good cold air coming to your face. I'd say this one's a little bit low, but you still get plenty of ventilation from this vent right here for the driver. You have soft touch materials up here on the dash all the way around. The only thing that's not soft touch is this hood vent, or this hood over the gauge cluster right here. Steering wheel is pretty thick. It has some ribs on the back end, which are pretty nice to have. It's not a leather wrap steering wheel, I believe. It's just a standard kind of a grippy material. But you have good, 9 3 grips right here, so you feel secure when you're driving the car. The steering response isn't very quick. It doesn't feel necessarily that sporty. But once you get into a corner, it doesn't have very much body roll, so it does feel sporty once you get into the corner, but the initial steering response is pretty dull. It doesn't have much steering feedback at all. So you got your sunglass holder up here. That's pretty big, and it really does fit some big sunglasses. You have your vanity lights right here, and then you'd have your sunroof controls if you had the full panoramic roof. You also get this right here. You use your vanity lights, and you have your light right here that you can use at night if you want to check yourself out. This doesn't have a standard auto-dimming rearview mirror, but you just have the standard mirror right there. You do have a damp glove box. It's not lined, but it is damped, which is nice, and it's really, really big, so you can fit a lot of stuff in there. You do have this adjustable armrest if this thing right pops in the way, but You do have this adjustable armrest that goes back and forth, so if you're on a long drive you can put your arm up. And then this opens up to reveal a pretty big size cubby hole right here, and it's actually felt lined at the bottom, so that's pretty nice. You have your parking brake right here. And the seats are really comfortable. I gotta say, the seats are pretty darn comfortable in this car. I bet you can go on a long drive and not have any fatigue at all. It has really good lumbar support and thigh support especially. And it fits wider frames well, but I'm a pretty skinny guy and I still fit in here really well too. What else we got? It's a very comfortable car. It's pretty quiet on the highway. Their road noise dominates as far as the noise goes, but it's not too bad. The ride is really comfortable. It feels more luxurious than you'd think for a car in this class too. So the sound system's also pretty good too. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's better than most cars in its class. All right, let's take a step out of the car. So this 2016 Hyundai Elantra GT is pretty impressive. I gotta say, it's probably one of the best in its class as far as a hatchback goes, but it's not gonna be sporty. If you value something that's gonna be sporty, I'd recommend like a Golf or a Mazda 3 or a Ford Focus. But a Hyundai Elantra GT is not gonna be in that same ballpark. It's more of comfort, it's about comfort, and it's actually pretty quick. It gets 24 miles per gallon in the city and 33 miles per gallon on the highway. I've been averaging about 26 to 27 miles per gallon, which isn't too bad considering the car can get to 60 miles an hour in about 8 seconds with the direct fuel injection 173 horsepower engine that comes standard on the car. So I hope you enjoyed this review today. If you have any questions about this vehicle, let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.